Hey everyone, and welcome to 1.21 Jigowatts. I am Peter. That is Halloween, and we are going to talk about movie trailers because that's what we do this week. And for those of you listening to this and not watching the video, he's wearing a Halloween t-shirt. I'm not being stupid, right? He's labelled Halloween.
It looks like a big name tag.
It does.
To be fair,
it does.
With the way this cuts it off on the video.
Yeah, no. If I could see the Halloween like poster logo underneath it, I wouldn't really make that joke. But the fact that it just looks like the word Halloween on your chest.
It does a bit, yeah.
It's kind of funny, but you're typically known as Connor.
The rest of it is there. It's just, you know.
I will say this: you do have the right hair to go with the Halloween sort of like color scheme.
I do. It just kind of blends nicely.
Yeah,
it's black and orange all down.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, this is a trailer talk show. We talk about a lot of movie trailers. It's a lot this week specifically, because last week we had like 6, and it wasn't that many. This week we have 14, and I actually had to cut a couple. I had like 17 originally, and I cut a few because I thought, no, okay, these couple are going to bore the shit out of us. So let's just get rid of those, whittle it down a little bit. We've never actually went above 14. 14's kind of been the limit, and I feel like that is unofficially what the limit is. Like I'm probably never. I
feel like it's weird that it's not 15, but. You know, I'm not going to complain.
Hey, for all I know, 1 week we'll get just the right concoction of trailers where I just can't cut below 15. Like, they'll just be... Either some will be like big, huge movies we have to talk about, some will be interesting indie movies, and then I'll be like, I can't cut any of these, so 15 it is. But at least so far, 14. This is the third time we've had 14. It seems to be the upper limit. So... without further ado, so obviously at the end of the show we pick our favourite of the week as well, just to throw that out there. But anyway, so without further ado, let's get into the actual trailers then. So not a lot of huge trailers individually this week. Like, there wasn't like a big, superhero movie or your Godzilla King of the Monsters, which by the way I've rewatched that trailer a few times. It's really freaking good.
Of course you have.
But a lot of trailers, mix of things. Arguably the biggest one is What Men Want, which is Taraji P. Henson from Person of Interest and Hidden Figures. She's become quite a name in the last couple of years. And this is like an odd sequel / spin-off to the Mel Gibson movie What Women Want from like 2002.
I remember talking about this in the movie news a while ago.
Yeah. Admittedly though, obviously I'm saying it's the spiritual successor to that. It doesn't actually feel connected in any way. I don't remember how he got the power in the movie. I don't think it was the same way this trailer implies she gets the power.
I don't know. It's been a long time.
I think he got electrocuted. I want to say that, but I'm kind of just vaguely remembering.
I mean, that sounds like it's plausible.
Yeah. So, what kind of? I mean, I don't really have any interest in seeing this. This looks like a sort of dumb comedy that I'm fine. I don't need it in my life. But what kind of amused me about this though is just the contrast in the jokes, because it's a woman hearing a man's inner thoughts versus the opposite. Is that all of a sudden all the male thoughts are really stupid and really silly, and there's the odd like sort of like sexist thing where, well, not sexist, but he's just thinking, but he's thinking, one of the guys will be thinking, oh, she looks really attractive in front, but his wife's standing right there, so she gets annoyed. That he's thinking that. So there's a couple of those things, but a lot of it is just really like Tracy Morgan's in this, and his thoughts are just, I think I'm having a stroke. Oh no, I just have toast in my pocket. Like just really silly, stupid things like that.
It's kind of what you expect from him, though. To be fair,
I mean that is Tracy Morgan, admittedly, but I feel like a lot of the jokes are just really silly things, as opposed to. Whereas because What Women Want kind of became like him using the thoughts to kind of like seduce them, whereas here she's like kind of sort of boys club company, and she thinks she's getting a promotion and she doesn't get the promotion, and then she starts using the thoughts to kind of like arguably win them over, arguably kind of use the thoughts against them to kind of get ahead.
Yeah.
Mix of both probably, but I mean it looks fine for what it is. I don't really want to see it though.
It looks really generic, and I just couldn't care any less about it. It's one of those where I'm like, yeah, it's just a standard car. It doesn't look particularly funny. Yeah. It looks like, sure, if you like this sort of thing, you'll probably find this inoffensive.
Some of the jokes look really obvious. Like they feel like really easy jokes to make.
Yeah, definitely.
And I guess with this premise, you kind of have to make the easy jokes, right? I mean,
yeah, I suppose you do. It's kind of boring still, though, isn't it?
It is boring, but it's like I feel like the more interesting film is the sequel when you've already got all that out of your system. and you can do something interesting with the premise.
It probably is, yeah.
Or maybe the interesting version is just not a comedy. Like to do a serious drama about someone hearing the thoughts of the opposite sex and the dark implications that might have on how you change your life.
See, that sounds more interesting.
Again, it does. But hey, that's what women want. Next up, we got a trailer called All About Nina. And this is Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and she's a stand-up comedian who is kind of flunking, and she ends up moving to California, to LA, to try her luck, start again, start fresh. There's a competition going on, and one of the finalists ladies in the competition will get a 1 hour special on TV or whatever, and she's competing in that, and there's a bit of a romance thing. Common's in the movie, he's kind of the love interest, and she has this awkward, quirky romance. But the movie's basically is that she's a bit of a wreck. She's kind of a the running joke in the trailer is that people in LA keep being honest and keep being sincere about what they're thinking or feeling, and she doesn't understand not lying to everyone. Like that's how she is. My first thought was, this feels like it's thinking a bit highly of LA when I'm not sure it's this.
Yeah. LA's that sophisticated.
Yeah, much of a paradise compared to wherever. I don't know where she was from originally. I mean, it felt like it was someplace like New York, but it might have been any random.
I think that's just the general
city.
assumption,
yeah.
Right? But
any urban city, whatever she was from. But it's kind of the culture clash with that, and then like her being kind of a mess. I mean, I think what makes the trailer work is her. She has like an energy to her performance because she's Mary Elizabeth Winstead. She's pretty good. She seems to own the awkward comedy as best she can. It's one of those trailers where I'm like, this seems like it'll probably be a fun watch. It isn't necessarily one that excites me just based on the trailer itself.
No, I agree. It's one of those that if someone puts it on, I'll be like, yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah.
But I don't think, when I've got the stack of movies to watch, and let's face it, we've always got a stack of movies to choose from.
Yes.
I'm not sure I'm ever going to choose this.
Yeah. It looks fine. It looks fine. She looks quite good in it. There's an energy to her. The actual story though feels kind of like your typical indie, not quite coming of age, because she's already it's more of a midlife coming of age, but it kind of that about the wreck becoming the more put together person. It's kind of the tropes of that, but typically those are carried by the performances and the script, and she seems good in it at least. So that's All About Nina. Next up, we have a trailer for After Everything, which is Maika Monroe from It Follows. And curiously, I spotted the sister from It Follows also in this trailer. I can't remember her name, but she was in there as well, which, coincidence.
It's been too long since I've seen It Follows to have noticed her.
Well, you should recognize she was in the last season of Channel Zero.
All right. I'll notice it next time, I'm sure.
Yeah. So again, speaking of like movies that kind of cover ground that I've seen before, it's just the falling in love with someone who's already got cancer and is dying, and she falls in love with this guy who's already dying. I mean, he may live. Like it doesn't actually make it clear that he's definitely terminal, but it's a possibility. It's a real possibility that he could die from this. And they have this friendship, and it blossoms into a romance. They're just strange because they meet because he confides in her that he's been diagnosed because he doesn't like to talk to anyone he knows.
I'm not gonna lie, this trailer got off on the wrong foot with me.
Oh, go on.
Because she's there, just mind her own business. She's got headphones on, and he just interrupts like, hey, she's just trying to talk to him. Like, don't be a dick. Someone's got headphones on, just leave them alone.
Yeah, it's funny because before I knew what the trailer was going with, I thought it was the point of the scene was going to be don't talk to girls wearing headphones because of that whole thing, like last year, or the year before.
Just in general, like someone's wearing headphones, they clearly don't want you to talk to them.
Yeah, I think in the movie they're going to sell that as he's just so desperate and she's the only one there that he's just going to, force his way into the conversation, because he just he feels that bad about it. But so he opens up to her because she's a stranger, and then she's not a stranger, and there's got the quirky sort of dramedy elements there where she texts him saying, "Oh, how are you feeling?" And he's like, I still got cancer, and okay, I can appreciate that.
It doesn't look quite as sappy as most of the movies with this premise.
No, it's reminding me more because as much as that is the obvious way to go, is the sappy version. Although I'm sure this will do the thing where it gets quite emotional towards the end when the actual do or die.
Oh, I'm sure it will, but it's not advertising itself as that version, which most of these do.
But I feel like this does fall into a subgenre of the more upbeat version of this story, but that I've also seen.
Yeah, what was that one with Jessica Gordon-Levitt?
50-50, I think that was called.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've got that. You've got not the same illness, of course, but the Paul Rudd one from Netflix. Fundamentals of Caring.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know,
with the kid in the wheelchair.
Yeah, like these upbeat, person sick movies. Like I feel like that's almost a subgenre in and of itself now. Is the upbeat version of this story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially the romance one. Obviously, that Paul Rudd one wasn't that. There was a romance element to it, but it wasn't the core focus. I feel like it falls into that, and that's what I'm complaining. It looks fine. Like they both look like they have chemistry. They look like there's fun to be had in there. But I did have that thing in the back of my head where I'm like, I feel like I've seen a few of these movies in this tone now.
Yeah, no, you're right.
And The Big Sick wasn't obviously exactly this kind of thing. It was, she was knocked out for half the movie because she might die.
And let's be honest, it was better than this is probably going to be.
Oh, A Big Sick was a fantastic film. That was like one of my biggest surprises last year. But even that, it's the upbeat kind of, it's emotional as hell in places, but it's really funny most of the time.
Yeah. It's got that quirkiness to it.
And I feel like that's what this is kind of shooting for in a lot of ways. So it's got an uphill battle because there's been a couple of really great versions of this already. But, it doesn't look bad.
No, it's got potential.
It just feels a bit derivative. I feel like I've seen this a few times already. But,
yeah.
So that's After Everything. Next up, we got a trailer called All Right Now, which, by the way, it was hard to remember which one of these was which because we got All About Nina, After Everything, and All Right Now back to back.
In a row, yeah.
But All Right Now is Kobe Smulders in an otherwise British cast, and she used to be like a rock star, and you're going to make some Robin Sparkles jokes in a minute. I can see it in your face.
I'm not going to lie. They all crossed my mind while I was watching it, but I thought, no, I'm not going to.
I don't even like How I Met Your Mother, but that joke still crossed my mind that this is basically like some sort of weird alternate Robin Sparkles life.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she's now middle-aged, and the band she was in broke up, and she's going back to university in England, and she befriends a group of people, including what's her face from Spaced.
Yeah, and
you know
and
her
the
name,
dude
no?
I can't think of her name now.
Okay,
I'm blanking.
Jessica
and
something. I always say Jessica something, but yeah.
Maybe. And then the guy from some of the earlier seasons of Doctor Who as well.
Who was he in Doctor Who?
He was Mickey. He was
I was thinking of the guy, the love interest. You're right. Okay, yeah, I recognise him. Yeah, Noel Clark. Yeah. I think his name is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got him there, and it's kind of her loosening up, and it's this. She basically befriends the other people there who are the mature students. Not the 20-year-olds.
Yeah.
The other 40-year-olds are all teaming up to.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah. Oh, it does. It's a weird clique though, just like really middle-aged people, and it looks kind of fine. It's funny because I'm not just saying this because it's a mostly British cast. It does look like a British movie that just happens to have an American lead in it.
It does. I think she's Canadian, to be fair, right?
That sounds right. She's Canadian. Yeah, it's true.
But close enough.
Yeah, the point remains the same. All right.
Yeah, no, I agree. I thought the first half of this trailer was pretty good, and then once it actually got to the university and all the friends, I'm like, it kind of became this weird awkward comedy stuff, and it wasn't really landing for me.
It felt a bit generic to me. I think that's my problem. It felt like, I don't know, any other like midlife British comedy. They just happened to have Kobe Smulders in the lead role. And it felt like half the jokes were her doing like British phrases because she thought that was funny. Not the actress, I mean the character.
Yeah. No,
she said £5 at one point, or she said something else, and
just to learn the lingo, right?
Yeah, it was just all the lingo. And I was like, don't do it. It feels weird.
Jessica Hines.
There you go. That's her name.
Got it.
That's her name. Hell, I avoid half the lingo just because I don't like saying it. Never mind hearing Canadians.
I say a lot just without thinking.
I'll say some. I'll say quid occasionally. There's a lot of slang though that I'm not. I just kind of avoid.
Yeah, it depends what it is. Quid, I think I'd say all the time.
No, because quid is basically the British version of bucks, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
If dollar to pound, bucks to quid. That's basically.
Yeah, no, it is. It's really common.
Yeah. But no, it's funny actually. Do you know how the whole meme that's blew up from Wreck-It Ralph 2 with what's her face from Brave?
Oh yeah, the Scottish one.
Yeah. and there's the whole joke that no one can understand what she's saying, which is weird to me because I can understand every word of it.
Same.
But which is fine for the joke itself. It's a little bit weird though, with the memes kind of blowing up though, and people are like saying she's saying different things because they think it's funny. And I'm like, is this what people who work at NASA feel like when they're watching movies set in space? Because I'm just watching this, no, what? Shut up.
So it reminds me, I like, you like there's the Hitler video, that's been subtitled.
Oh, the reacts, yeah.
There's the Spanish guy, Mexican guy. Yeah, the one who talks really quickly.
That's the TV interview one?
Yeah.
Where he laughs? Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like if I understood these languages...
Oh, yeah, they wouldn't be funny. Yeah.
This would just be ruined.
Yes. That's kind of what this Wreck-It Ralph 2 meme is to me. But it's funny because like I understood everything she said, but I wouldn't say half those things she said. Like I just don't speak like that. But I understand all of it.
Yeah. No, I get you.
Like I would never say Algin, but I know what it means.
Yeah.
Father, for the record, just because anyone's not figured it out yet. It means father.
I feel like that everyone learned by now because
everyone's learned it by now
because of the meme people shared. Oh, that's what that means.
Yeah, so I'll just have to resort to calling Americans Egypts and daubers and just hope those don't get looked up.
Anyway. Egypt's one that I haven't used in years.
So anyway, it's all right now. Looks very generic and middling. It doesn't look like it's going to be a bad movie. It just doesn't look like it's going to be a particularly good one either.
It looks very forgettable.
Yeah, looks forgettable. But you know, it's the sort of thing though where if the reviews come out and say it's actually really good, I could buy that the trailers missold me on it a little bit.
Yeah,
I could totally buy it if they tell me that later. But hey, next up we had a trailer for Arizona, or Arizona rather.
I thought you were just being weird.
Nah, Joe, I paused for a second. I second guessed myself and then said the wrong one. It was weird. But
I thought you were trying to do an accent or something.
Yeah, I feel like certain accents would say Arizona.
They would. That's what I thought you were going for.
Nah,
and I was like, no, you just got it wrong.
It was basically my Danny McBride. my Danny McBride impression, who's in the movie, of course. But Danny McBride's in this, and he kidnaps a woman and her daughter, and then the real father shows up later looking for them. But most of it seems to be the awkward dark comedy of him having them kidnapped, and like he's a bit of a goofball kidnapper.
Yeah, like he's got his face all covered because obviously.
Yeah.
And then shows her around the house and shows her the family photos.
He's like, "That's me." And then there's like a pause as he realizes what he's just done.
Well, no, he doesn't even. She just stares at him, being like, "Okay, you can take that off now."
I mean, I think he realizes after a couple of seconds. But
he does, but it's her staring that makes him realize, rather than him just noticing what he said.
But I mean, I'm not a big Danny McBride guy.
Yeah.
But this didn't look too bad. This kind of had some jokes here or there that were kind of like, I could almost get behind the wackiness of this. Like, there's something funny to me about someone being kidnapped, and then, you know, as the movie goes on, they're just kind of getting annoyed at the kidnapper for being an idiot, rather than being scared because they're kidnapped.
Yeah, no, I get that. I think the timing of some of the jokes just seems wrong to me.
Yeah, I think that's Danny McBride's pacing for me. I'm just not. Like...
Yeah, I was wondering maybe it's the trailer, but then you have the big ending joke is him trying to turn this TV on, and it's actually just controlling the blinds. And it's like it goes on for like 10 seconds, and like this doesn't need to. This isn't funny. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe that's just me though.
No, I wasn't really feeling that joke either. It was more some of the running around that I was getting some chuckles out of, and some of the it was less the jokes and more the absurdity and weirdness of some of the moments.
Just the situation itself. Yeah,
it was kind of cracking me up. Him delivering the jokes wasn't really doing how much for me, but I had a lot of quotes on this one saying how much of a darkly comic genius it was, and all sorts. So maybe it's actually quite good. There's potential there. I wouldn't write it off.
Yeah, I think that one's out pretty soon. VOD.
There's a few of these that are out pretty soon in VOD. I was noticing that.
Look, like I'm just looking here in the screen. This one's out like next week.
Yeah, there's a trend here I'm noticing with a lot of the VOD releases where the trailers only come out like 2 or 3 weeks before. It's just kind of like Netflix movies, I guess.
Yeah, I guess they're just following suit from that, going, "Hey, that's what works, right?"
Yeah, just throw it at them and say, "Hey, it's out in a couple of weeks," so you don't forget about it.
No, that's it. It's so because they can only really get they're only affording one trailer. Like they go, right, this is a chance. Here's a trailer. Watch it in a week. You can't forget about it then.
Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense. Next up, we did actually have a Netflix. No, wait, this wasn't a Netflix movie, was it? Was Green Book a Netflix movie? There was two.
I'm trying to remember because there was one that I didn't think was until right at the end.
Yeah, the next one's definitely Netflix, and it's either the one before or after that's a Netflix movie.
I'm just trying to check the end of the trailer. I don't think this one is.
Yeah, I think this one is. Okay, so Green Book is Viggo Mortensen and Ali Mahershala. Did I say his name right? Mahershala. God damn it, I'll get it right one of these days. And it's set in the 50s maybe.
Yeah, I'd say about 50s.
And he is a pianist, as Ali, and he hires Viggo Mortensen as a bodyguard because he's going on tour in the Deep South. And I thought, okay, okay, I can see where they're going with this premise. All right, this is,
yeah,
and it's kind of the culture clash, and it's like Viggo's a bit of a simple-minded individual. He thinks with his fists. And it's the idea is that over the course of the movie they learn from each other, and Viggo learns, how to be less racist for a start, but also
and he gets like lessons on diction because he has a very strong accent and doesn't pronounce words properly.
Yeah, he's right because the joke at the end of the trailer, because there is jokes in this. There's some because early on there's a joke where he's being racist and he's like, "Hey, I've got some KFC, I have some fried chicken." He's like, "I don't like fried chicken."
No. It's not even that. It says, "I've never had fried chicken in my life." And I'm like, "Oh, you're missing out, my friend."
Oh, fried chicken's great. I can't fault fried chicken. It's the best thing to come out of the South is Southern fried chicken, quite frankly. You
might just argue with like some of their barbecue techniques.
All right, okay.
But I mean, it's still in the ballpark. We're still talking food.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still going with the chicken, but like, yeah, I'll accept if you prefer the barbecue, but. Right, and obviously he's kind of like, no, but by the end of the trailer you see that they're actually sharing, and he's like, what do we do with the wings or the bones now? He's like, I just throw it out the window, and it's just, but then he makes him pick up the cup. He's like, no littering, you're not throwing cups out. But at the end of the trailer he's writing a letter back to his wife, and Ali's like, oh, let me read it, and it's like I can't even remember what it said, but it was this awful just
cliche shite,
and he's like, do you want some help with this? And then we hear him dictate like this, poetic love letter of the thoughts of you in my dreams, and if I could hold you one more time, I think about you, blah blah. And then Mortensen's at the end, he's like, oh, can I add love you honey bunch? I can't remember what the phrase was, but it was something really generic. It was like, can I add love you honey bunch? And it was just like a pause. He's like, yeah, that's perfect. Just
no, because he goes. You realise that's like adding a cowbell at the end of like whatever symphony it was. And he's like, that improves it, right? That makes it better. He's just like, yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah, but the joke was, you know what? Yeah, you need a personal touch at the end, so she knows it's you. Like, otherwise, she'll be like, who wrote this crap? That's not my husband. What? And obviously, there's a lot of situations where they're kind of learning from each other, and he's kind of sticking up for him when there's places refusing him service, and he's trying to understand why he's even wanting to come down here and perform for them when they're like this. And it's one of these movies where I could see it being kind of like, I don't want to say quite Oscar bait, but like just the obvious sap of the story, as opposed to being actually like the nuanced stuff. But at least the two actors seem to be nailing it.
I think that's it, because you've got two fantastic actors in there.
Yeah,
it's like, even if it is kind of Oscar baity, right, in that sort of tone, sentimentality almost, it's like, yeah, but it's probably still going to be good to watch just because of those two.
There's some emotional scenes in the trailer later on when they're screaming at each other in the rain, like outside the car, and because Viggo's like driving around everywhere, and like it seems like it's going to hit those emotional points, and it'll be this like friendship that forms over the movie, and it's these two guys from vastly different backgrounds. And like there's potential here. So it's called Green Book. So that's maybe one to look out for, depending on the reviews maybe. But certainly the performances from the two actors look like it's going to knock that out of the park at the very least.
Yeah, I could see some nominations for these performances potentially.
Yeah, I feel like it's coming out well, it's not completely wrong time. It's because
When's that one out?
I mean, it's later this year, right? So I mean, I guess it is in the season.
I don't think we had a date for this one.
Do we have a date for this one? Okay.
No, I mean, no, it's not giving me a date in the trailer description or at the end of the trailer. So.
All right, okay. But anyway, so next up we had a trailer for a film called Roma, and this is a Netflix movie.
It is.
It's getting a limited release as well, but it's coming to Netflix, of course. And I didn't know what this was until the name came up on the screen at one point, and because I was like, all right, this looks really pretty. It looks, it's because it's black and white. It's lots of great shots of it turns out it's Mexico City, and it's set in the 70s, and it appears to be the struggles of this family during the harsh times during the 70s in Mexico City, and there's lots of shots of like families running, and there's like, but it feels like it's these big sweeping shots where you can tell they put a lot of thought into the composition, all the extras. They've got big grand locations. It looks gorgeous.
It's gorgeous and it's got style. That's all I needed to know about this movie. Yeah. And then the name came up and I went, oh, hello.
Yes, Alfonso Cuarón is directing this, who directed Gravity, Children of Men, so on. And, he's a fantastic director, so this immediately was like, oh, hello, okay. Yep. He's doing a Netflix movie. Interesting. Netflix is going to have a good movie then.
Because that was the thing, because I didn't know this was a Netflix movie, because usually, when you give you the links to the trailers, you'll use the Netflix channel links if it's a Netflix movie.
If I find it there, yeah.
Yeah, if you find that. This one wasn't, and it comes up saying, in select theaters or whatever it says, and then it comes up and Netflix, like right at the end. Mm-hmm. So it kind of goes, oh, okay, that little curveball. Like they really held off on that.
Yeah, no, it looks great. It looks like film. Not to get pretentious, but it looks like filmmaking.
It does. There's a shot of it's just a woman going swimming in the sea.
Yeah,
just looks gorgeous.
Yeah, it feels raw. It feels like it's going to just be like unfiltered, like tension and drama.
I barely know what it's actually about from the trailer.
Oh yeah, sure.
But I know I want to watch it.
It feels like there'll probably will be close-ups and stuff, but it feels like a film that's going to just let the camera sit back and let the events unfold in front of it, and it looks really, really good. And I think it's just an interesting film to do after Gravity. This he did a movie in space that was all visual effects, and then this is just all in the frame. It's all, we're going to go to this location, we're going to get a bunch of actors and extras, and we're going to move the camera around.
Yeah. And it's crazy to think that how long it's been since Gravity between the two movies.
Yeah, 5 years.
So it's a significant gap. So
quality takes time. Quality takes time. But it looks fantastic. So that's Roma. Does, yeah. That is coming out relatively soon. So look forward to that.
Yeah, we didn't have a date for that one, which I thought was notable because the Netflix at the end when that comes up usually says a date.
Yeah, I think it may have something to do with the theater release as well. That's making it a bit different. Next up, we had a trailer for Next Gen, which was an animated film. This is your girl hates robots because there's robots everywhere. She hates that the fake Steve Jobs is introducing a new robot and her mother can only think about the new robot. And then she ends up meeting this custom built robot who's unique. And ultimately there's going to be a robot uprising, and her new robot that will become her friend and she'll grow to love and respect will be her ally, and they'll fend off the robot apocalypse. It's a kid's animated movie, CG.
Yes.
I didn't mention that at first. I probably should have brought that up.
Yeah.
Joe, it's funny. I like these kinds of stories, but I was watching this and I was thinking, I'm getting elements of Big Hero 6. I'm getting elements of iRobot. I'm getting all these different things that I've seen before, kind of mushed into one movie.
No, I agree with that.
It
doesn't look bad though.
No, I mean the animation looks fine. Look, this is the thing. I feel like if I hadn't seen, I think Big Hero 6 is the main one. I feel like Big Hero 6 is the big comparison here, where I feel like this is specifically feels redundant because of that.
It does feel like it's trying to cash in on that a little bit.
Yeah, which is funny because it's been a few years since that.
It has, yeah. It's not the new big thing anymore. So
it feels derivative, I guess, is what I'm saying. It doesn't look bad though. It looks like it might be a forgettable kids animated movie. I'd hope it. I would hope it ends up, shooting above that and maybe actually being something that we can enjoy as well. But I don't know. I'm not getting that vibe from the trailer. I'm getting the level cap here maybe hits about 12 years old, and then you're probably...
No, I agree, and I mean that's all right. If they enjoy it, that's the target audience, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always of the opinion though. There's no reason why you can't make something that targets them and also works for everyone over that age.
I mean, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
But I mean, I kind of go both ways. Sometimes I'm like, well, it's fine if I don't enjoy it. It's not for me. Just if the kids enjoy it, that's cool.
That's a cop out.
I don't know.
It's a cop out. It's because you can say, oh, I can make this appeal to the kids and the adults, or it could be easier and I could just make it appeal to the kids.
I mean, that's fair, but I mean, how many movies do we talk about here with this trailers and we go, yeah, it looks like a good film, but it's not for me. I could say the same about like a lot of kids' films where, yeah, it looks perfectly fine, but it's not for me. It's for kids.
No, see, I think there's a difference between the story being immature enough not to work for adults and a different genre that you just don't enjoy. I think there's a difference between those factors.
Okay, but I don't think this looks too immature to enjoy. I just think, like you say, it looks derivative, and we've seen it done quite a handful of times now, probably better. And we care about that, whereas kids don't care about that. It's just more to them.
I don't think you can give it a pass because of that, though.
I mean, like I said, to me, if it's aiming at kids, that's who's going to watch it, it's fine.
Yeah, but we ain't reviewing things for kids.
No, we're not, and that's why we're probably not going to review it. We're just going to talk about but just because the trailer doesn't work for me doesn't mean it's not going to be a good kids film.
I'm looking at it a pass just because the kids are like. It's easy to make kids like things. They like just a bit of anything you throw in front of them.
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, things like SpongeBob SquarePants is successful.
Nothing wrong with SpongeBob, mate.
There's plenty wrong with SpongeBob. Plenty wrong with SpongeBob.
SpongeBob's great.
It's the goddamn devil, is what it is. It's the goddamn devil. Anyway, so that's next gen. Next up, we had a trailer for The Oath, which is a comedy about a family at Thanksgiving, and there's an oath coming up in the next couple of days. What was the oath specifically for again?
Do you know what? I don't think they specifically said. They were really cagey around it. They were telling it was all political. They're like, oh yeah, there's this a loyalty oath is what it was, but they didn't say exactly what it was. You'd have to, what it entailed. They were just like, you had to be loyal to America, but they didn't go into what that entails.
That's why I couldn't remember it. But so basically it turns into this ridiculous comedy where it's about one couple in the family are liberal and the rest of the family are conservative, and they start to fight about political issues, but it's like a wacky slapstick comedy. And I couldn't help but feel watching this that it doesn't seem like it's got the satire or the tact to actually tackle any of these subjects in a good way that will be like, okay, it's funny, but it's making some good points. It feels like a really silly comedy that's not really going to say anything about any of this stuff.
I hated this trailer. Like right from the start, it just goes, yeah, but Hitler. And then the other side goes, oh, of course, liberals. You always compare it to Nazis. I'm like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah, no, it feels like surface level inane comedy about fairly serious ongoing topics right now that maybe shouldn't be taken. And that's not to say you can't have comedy about it. You absolutely can.
Just better comedy.
Yeah,
smarter comedy.
Smarter comedy. You can have satire about these things. I don't think this is the movie to tackle it though. I agree. I think it looks terrible.
Yeah, good.
I'm on board with that thought. Next up, we had a trailer for Killer Kate. This is one that we read about in the news a little while ago. Which I heard was meant to be a homage to the early Carpenter films, which I don't know if I quite get from the trailer necessarily.
No, I didn't get that. But I mean, maybe that's just poor trailer making.
Yeah, it could just be the trailer being a little bit misleading. I certainly see it in the concept potentially. So, group of lady friends, was one of them getting married? I think I can't remember. But they go off to like a cabin, you know, a house. They rent a house for the weekend. I think they actually win a competition specifically to go there.
Yeah, there's a card like congratulations.
Yeah. And they go there, and it turns out to be a trap. There's a bunch of people who want to kill them. But it's light-hearted though. It's not like a serious horror film. It's more like a horror comedy, where these characters are. They're not like slapstick or anything like that, but they definitely feel like they're amateurs and they don't really know what they're doing, and they're kind of excited about it. It seems like the movie is that Kate, who's like the main character out of the four ladies who go to the house, she ends up being a bit of a badass and is able to fight them off.
With a rather impressive barbed wire baseball bat.
Yes. It looks like it's one of these comedies where they're all going to be covered in blood by the end, and that's going to be part of the joke. It looks okay. Like it's not completely landing for me, but I see potential in what it's trying to do.
It looks like the sort of movie I could have easy fun with. Like, yeah, that'll go on. That'll entertain me for probably 90 minutes, no more. I can't imagine.
Yeah.
And then that's fine. Yeah, I'll have fun with it, but I'm not expecting anything amazing from it.
Yeah, there's some blood here or there. There's a few one-liner kind of moments, that kind of thing. But it's definitely a bit more light-hearted and leaning into the comedy than I think I thought it was going to from when I read the description.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, it's very bright. A lot of it's set during the day as well, so it's a very bright film, despite the
surprisingly so. Yeah, you don't usually get that.
But hey, so that is that. Next up, we get a trailer for a film called Cruise, which it's not set in the 50s, but the main dude for some reason looks like he's
straight out of the 50s. Yeah.
They're going with the rebel without a cause kind of look for him for some reason, and he ends up meeting a girl who he has a fun night with, and she's exciting, and then he runs into her when she's with her friends, and it turns out she gave him a fake name because she's got a wild side. She's got like an alias for when she wants to be a bad girl.
Her bad girl persona.
There you go. That was it. But then she sort of like still keeps befriending him, and his family think he's a nice boy, but he's actually stealing stuff out of cars and shit like that, and street racing and whatnot. And she's kind of falling for him, but she has to go back to college in the fall, and it's kind of this, will they stay together, will they not? Yeah, this looked like shit, but I'll at least give it some credit. I think there was some nice visuals here or there. I think the lighting choices were occasionally kind of nice, which might sound like faint praise, but I thought the acting of the main dude was questionable. Oh,
it was awful. And can he please stop chewing gum?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's just constantly chewing gum. That's really distracting.
Yeah, it felt like a. It's kind of like when a bunch of housewives imagine what a bad boy car thief is. Like, the one of their dreams. Instead of being like a grungy guy who's really like, you wouldn't want to run into the dark alley. No, he's actually kind of an attractive hunk. Like, and then you cast someone who doesn't act in that role.
He looks like he stepped out of Grease or something like that.
It looks like he stepped out of a CW show.
Yeah.
And somehow get a role in a movie. And I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened.
And she's not that much better. She's not as bad as him, though.
No, but, I mean, I know who she is, at least.
Do you?
Yeah, she was in... She got famous from one of those music videos years ago. She was in Gone Girl, though. She was the girl that he cheated on with.
Oh, okay.
That's her.
Alright, okay.
So she's, like, been in some proper movies and stuff before.
Proper films.
Yeah, proper. Not this. This is a student film with a budget for some reason.
I wouldn't say student film. It feels like a made-for-TV movie with a budget.
Yeah.
Like the Lifetime channel. It feels like the Lifetime channel for some reason got a budget to make a movie like this, and here we are. Some awkward comedy, sappy romance bullshit. I mean,
it's very implausible.
Yeah. So next up, we get a trailer for Climax. Get that thought out of your heads. It's not a dirty film. I know that's what you're all thinking. It's not a dirty film. No, this is a very intense dancing film.
Yes, it is. This is A24,
which
explains a lot.
I actually almost turned it off because I thought it was a documentary at first, because it starts off with these interviews. But it's not. It's a proper film. Sophia Boutella is in it from Kingsman and The Mummy. and it's a dance party that seems to, by the end of it, it looks like it's going to turn into some sort of violent, bloody affair. But it looks like there's a lot of really intense dancing up until that point. I'm not sure how much. Apparently it's already played at some festivals, and the buzz about this is that it's a really unique, intense film.
Yeah, it looks beautiful. Like, I'm sure the cinematography for all these dance sequences is fantastic, based on what we can see here. I don't think I want to watch it.
See, if you told me about this movie beforehand, I'd have said, never in a million years did I watch a movie that seems to be mostly dancing. The trailer is kind of good, though.
It is a good trailer. Do you know what I really liked? This is going to sound weird, is the subtitles. They had an effect to it that I hope is in the final movie.
Yeah, they had this thing where like a black bar would come up at the bottom of the screen and it would kind of like zoom into the subtitle and then it would sort of come out the same way.
And there were points where it would actually come up around the screen, like as it was going through the scene.
It went with the momentum of the dance, so it was kind of like kinetic. It felt kinetic with whatever was going on the screen at the time.
It wasn't just something I was reading at the bottom of the screen. It was moving.
Yes.
And I thought that was really interesting. I don't think I've ever seen that done like that before.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it looks unique. I'd be willing to give this a chance, despite the fact that I really don't care about dancing all that much. But I'd be willing to give this a shot.
No, fair enough.
I mean, I think the trailer focused on the dancing. I have to imagine. I mean, these interview segments must have come from somewhere in the movie. So.
Yeah. A lot of the review things that come up talk about the dance though quite heavily. Yeah. So I'm maybe a little concerned it is a lot dance.
If maybe one of these things, if I watch this, I'll be like, okay, I really appreciate everything that was done there with the filmmaking, but ultimately it's just too much dancing for me to really appreciate. But I can't deny it was a solid trailer, and it was intriguing. You know, by the end of it, I was like, huh, that was unique.
It was something. I can't argue with that.
Yeah. Next up, we got a trailer for An Evening with Beverly Luff Linn.
It's our last trailer, isn't it?
It is the last trailer, technically.
Oh yeah.
Well, I got one I want to mention after this, even though you didn't watch it. So this is Aubrey Plaza and Jeremy Clement. Interestingly, both from Legion, teaming up here. And,
yes.
I mean, I have no idea what the plot of this movie is.
No.
She disappears with him to go and do something to do with this Beverly Luff Linn. Played by Craig Robertson, and he's in plaid. His last name's Beverly.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of bright colours. There's a lot of style.
There is, yeah. It looks very like 70s. Late 70s.
Yes, very, very psychedelic, you might say, in a lot of places. Yeah. I have no idea what the plot of the movie is, though.
Do you know what? I really like this trailer. The thing that I hate is it comes up with a name. So it comes Aubrey Plaza, Jermaine Clement, Craig Robinson, and then it didn't mention Matt Berry. The bastards. Like, you got Matt Berry there, and you're not putting him in the credits on the trailer. That is inexcusable.
Yeah, this might be quite good. I think my problem with this trailer, other than the fact that I don't think it makes it clear what the movie actually is that I feel like it might be trying too hard.
Maybe.
Like I'm watching it and I feel like you're trying to have this style, but I'm worried that I'm going to watch it and feel like you're not quite pulling it off. You're not feeling committed to it, or you're it's all style with no substance, I guess is what I'm saying.
That's fair. So it made me want to watch the movie though.
Let's try to be quirky. I mean, yeah, no, I'm curious to see it. Like, I'm there's enough going on there that I'm like, okay, I'm curious. You've got me intrigued, which I guess is an accomplishment. But I was like, I'm not convinced. I actually think this will be good though. I almost see this being a bit of a mess. That's just kind of fascinating to watch.
Yeah, no, it's possible.
But again, I have no idea what the plot of this. I know that they're there to do something, and that there's people looking for her because she left. I have no idea what her goal is. Is she stealing something from him? Is she just wanting to see him perform? I don't know.
All I know is it's going to be, what was it? It was going to be magical, I think was the phrase from the start.
Yeah.
And maybe that's true, if they can pull that off.
Also, apart, I learned in this trailer that Beverly's a Scottish name. I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
I just assumed it was a normal name that was widespread, but there you go.
Yeah, I didn't realise it was particularly Scottish.
Yeah, but hey, there you have it. So that's An Evening with Beverly Luff Linn. I have to think about that title every time I say it. I just wanted to mention, I didn't make Connor watch this one because it was quite short and it wasn't like a super huge deal. But I do want to point out a trailer did come out this week for a Scorpion King 5, which is 2018, and for some reason they're making a fourth straight-to-video Scorpion King movie. And it stars the dude from the last season of S.H.I.E.L.D., the Superior.
Oh, okay.
With the long hair.
Yeah.
He's the Scorpion King, and it looks like a cheap, action movie.
Is he the Superior Scorpion King?
It's not actually called Scorpion King 5. I didn't even take the effort to write down the proper title because I didn't care. It's Scorpion King Shadows of blah 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 Underworld. I don't know. Who knows? Who cares? It's Scorpion King 5. It's not like you saw Scorpion King 4 and you're waiting for 5 with anticipation.
It's called the Scorpion King Book of Souls.
Book of Souls. There you go. Yes.
I didn't realise there was more than 3 of these things.
I only knew that because I remember when 4 came out, I went, there was a second and a third?
I think I had that reaction at 3. I was like, wait, there was a second one?
Yes.
And then 4 passed me by.
Yes, and then now we've got 5. Which is weird when you think
about
it.
Who wants these?
Because The Mummy got rebooted, and we're still getting Scorpion King movies.
Who's still asking for these to be made?
Like a dozen people with really bad taste? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
I feel like this is the sort of thing where it's like it's got a little bit of name value, so they know they can recoup X amount of cost by just shipping it off cheaply to like streaming services. So it's almost like a weird like tax write off. It's like, oh, we can do it for X amount of money, we'll get X amount back from streaming services, and it works out enough to be profitable, so it's worth doing.
Yeah. Must be.
But no one cares about it. No one wants it. It's just like it's almost like a movie that's like a phantom movie. No one. I mean, I'd be surprised if anyone ever even watches it. They could just claim it's there and just put a fake poster and a title, and it's just there. It makes it look there's more movies on each service, but really it's just it's one for the tax form.
It's just 85 minutes of just posters. You get one poster every 15 minutes.
I don't know. Scorpion King 5 is a thing that exists.
Apparently.
My second season of Firefly still, evaporating in the mist somewhere, and Scorpion King 5 exists. The world is imbalanced.
This probably cost less than like one episode of Firefly would today, though.
There's probably some truth in that. That said, Joss Whedon can do a lot on a budget.
Oh, he can. I've seen it.
Yeah, I mean, hell, Serenity was an example of that. And of course, I can't mention Joss Whedon without mentioning the hit television show Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I mean, hell, I'm actually wearing a Buffy the Vampire Slayer shirt right now. Yeah.
Honestly, I think a prime example of him on a budget is Much Ado About Nothing, because that's all in his house.
Yeah, he made that in his garden, basically.
Yeah. And it's a great film.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like Shakespeare stuff, so I can get into it, but. Yeah,
you got a lot of his regulars.
Yeah, no, I mean, hell, it's Wesley and Fred that are the love interest to each other.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, I should be into that. I mean, it's a shame that it's all in Shakespeare speak. I just can't. I can't abide by it.
Oh, I love it. It's one of my favorite Shakespeare adaptations.
I can't abide by it, but no. So that so that takes us on to picking our favorite trailer of the week. So. I mean, it's Roma, right?
Yeah.
It's definitely Roma. There's no way it's not Roma.
No, I agree. I think Climax makes a good case as a trailer.
As an edited trailer, as an edited piece of work, Climax is a good trailer. Even with Beverly Lynn Fluff or Luff Linn, rather. Lynn Fluff. my mind's just like filling in the blanks because it's such a stupid title.
You're getting halfway through and they just go, I'll make up the rest.
Yeah. It sounds made up, though. Beverly Luff Linn. What does Luff Linn mean?
I don't know.
And it's two separate words.
Sure, I'm sure if you ask someone else, they'll say it sounds Scottish.
It's not even like it's a one word, like it's a name. If it was just Beverly Luff Linn, I'd say, okay, it's a weird name, but whatever. But no, it's Beverly Luff Linn.
Yeah.
I don't get it. There's quite a bunch of mediocre trailers, a couple of intriguing ones, but Roma's the one that by far stands out to me, both in terms of the trailer and also wanting to watch it.
Yeah, I think that might be already the most excited I've ever been for a Netflix movie.
That's fair. That's fair. But hey, the Blaggle funds are on. I mean, why wouldn't you be? Why wouldn't you be excited?
They're
for that?
gonna be promoting the shit out of this.
To a point, I don't think they'll promote it like as much as you think they would, because it's not mainstream enough. It's an art house movie.
I think they'll promote it quite a lot, just based on, oh hey look, it's the guy that made Gravity. They'll try.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I mean, his weakest movie is one of the Harry Potters, so you know.
No, it's not. Harry Potter 3, Prisoner of Azkaban is the best Harry Potter film.
Yeah, but are you telling me it's better than Gravity, Children of Men?
I think it's better than Children of Men.
You're just wrong.
No, I stand by that. I thought Children of Men was a little underwhelming, honestly. I thought it was pretty good, but I don't think it's up there with the others.
Nah. This is baffling talk. Baffling talk. You got your rose-tinted Harry Potter-shaped glasses on, and that's all this is.
Like I said, I was a little disappointed with Children of Men. I think it's pretty good, but I didn't think it was amazing. But whereas Prisoner of Azkaban is the best Harry Potter movie, so it's clearly better than Children of Men.
Yeah, I mean, it may very well be the best Harry Potter movie. I don't think that's saying much, but it's, you know,
it's saying a fair bit. There's only a couple of bad ones. Actually, no. There's only one bad one.
What's the one bad one?
4. I don't like 4 very much.
Okay. Robert Pattinson's in that one, that's why.
Yeah, he is the least of that movie's problems.
He came in there to inject. I mean, Twilight wasn't even a thing yet when it came out, but he came in there to inject Twilight into it. You know, oh my god, there's a rogue young adult series in this movie. What's happening?
It's Harry Potter. It's a young adult series.
I know there's a rogue young adult series in it.
Oh, but then that's not a rogue. That's an extra. Because a rogue young adult implies that you're not already in one.
How? Like what basis has anyone ever said rogue young adult that you have any basis for comparison?
Because if you're already in a young adult one and there's another one, that makes it, that sounds more like a crossover. Whereas, there's a young adult thing here, that implies that you're not in the young adult thing already.
Bullshit. If I'm in a room with you and then a second ginger walks in, I would still say there's a rogue ginger in the room. You already being there does not change the fact that he should not be there. Therefore, he is rogue.
It's another rogue ginger. It's another ginger. Because the rogue ginger could still be just referring to me. You'd be like, oh yeah, I'm fed up of you being in this room.
No, context. I'm clearly talking about the other one.
I just disagree with this.
Oh,
the
God.
Point is,
sometimes you.
The point is that it's not Karan's weakest movie, and that's all we need to agree on.
I do not agree on this.
He does, really.
No, I don't. I do not. Harry Potter, overrated mainstream pap. Anyway.
I'm not taking it. Not taking that bait. We'll be here all night. We got more stuff to do.
Well, I don't know what it is. Something about Harry Potter. I don't dislike Harry Potter. Like I think it's fine. It's like kind of what you were saying. It's like a kids thing. It's just not for me. It's this kids thing. But for some reason, everyone my age loves Harry Potter, and I just don't get it. I just don't.
Because we all grew up on it.
I was the same age. I was there.
Yeah, well, you're a weird bastard who doesn't like magic. What do you want me to say?
2001, Harry Potter, the first Harry Potter, the first Lord of the Rings both came out, and I just didn't get it. I was like, what? Who cares about these two stupid things? What? Give me something else.
God, you're the worst.
Oh, dear. I have no ill will towards Harry Potter. It baffles me why it's the biggest goddamn thing ever, outside of Star Wars and whatever.
It's a true cultural phenomenon.
Yes. Do you know what I think it is? I think all the things that become that big are inherently the things that are not that interesting, and that's why they have the broadest appeal, because it's the lowest common denominator.
No, I don't agree with that.
I think that's why it is. I think that's why Harry Potter, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings.
No. See, now you're just chatting bullshit, and you know you are by including Star Wars in that because you like the original trilogy of Star Wars, and you know they're not uninteresting.
No, I do like the original trilogy of Star Wars, but what I'm saying is that even the original trilogy, as much as I think they're really good movies, well, the first two are. Jedi's is good. It's not great, but like they're not up there for me. Like, you know, I'd rank a lot of things above them.
You'd be wrong, but fine.
You know, like, you know, I'll take Alien, Back to the Future, and Terminator more than I would the original Star Wars. That's just me.
Do you know what? No, here's the thing, especially for all three of these that applies to. They're working on foundations of myths from before them, like quite openly. All of them are working from foundations, right? Like, you know, Star Wars is a lot of Arthurian myths. Harry Potter has a lot of Greek myth stuff in it as well. Lord of the Rings, its entire creation was to become a mythology. That was the purpose of that story. So they all have these basics in things people are already familiar with. So because it's got an easy entrance floor, I think, because you're already familiar to some degree with a lot of the foundations, it's easier to just build from there and make something that people attach to.
So they're all derivative of what you're saying is they're all derivative and unoriginal. Okay, I'm glad we've cleared that up.
No, I think they all have a basis, a foundation.
Before anyone gives me some angry comments, I'm deliberately trying to rile them up here. All right, I'm trolling.
I thought I took a pretty academic response to that, frankly.
You're trying your best, but you know, I'm not going to stop.
I'm just going to say I think that's the best argument anyone's ever had as to why all three of those are successful.
Do you know what? I'll accept it to begin with. I think once it balloons to the size that they're at, though, there's an element of overdoing it, and I think, you know, like the fact that we have like this new series set in the Harry Potter world is like, let it just be. Let it be what it was. Let Star Wars be the original trilogy, and yeah, let Lord of the Rings just be a trilogy. And if you're going to do a Hobbit adaptation, then fine, but you know, maybe just do one movie because that's what it was.
No, I agree. Two movies would have been fine with the extra material, but didn't need three.
I guess it's a problem with milking things more than they should. And many things I like have been milked too much as well. I mean, that's absolutely true. But
yeah, it's not like there's ever been a shit Aliens movie, is it?
Oh, there's been a few.
Oh, exactly.
There's been a few. But I can happily disown them. You never see me defending Alien Covenant or Prometheus. And I thought I liked Prometheus after the first time I watched it. When I watched that again with you last year, I was gobsmacked as how shite it was.
Yeah, I didn't hate it. I didn't love it, but I thought it's all right. But I've only seen it the once, so maybe next time I watch it, I'll be like, "What the fuck's this?"
My God, it even wasted my main man Logan Marshall Green. He's a great actor.
He is a great actor, isn't he?
And then he's in that shite, and he's the angry boyfriend.
I feel like he's underutilized. More people need to get him in stuff.
Yeah, watch season 1 of Quarry. Watch The Invitation. Great movie, great TV show. These two things, check them out. They're good. Anyway, that's the end of Trailer Talk this week. A bit of a tangent there at the end. But hey, so. Do you know what, just to go wrap around to these popular things conversation.
Right, you couldn't let it go.
No, it's just I feel like there's some people who, when I say I don't necessarily love Star Wars enough to want more of it, and I like the original trilogy, and I don't like Lord of the Rings, I don't like Harry Potter, and I don't really like Disney as a whole. Like, I don't care about Mickey Mouse or any of that shit. People like make this assumption that I'm just being contrarian, that I don't like the popular things, and I don't think that's true. There's tons of popular things that I love. It's just those are the juggernauts that are so freaking big, and I look at it more as a coincidence. Like I think it's kind of interesting. Like, why is it the stuff that's super big that I don't like as much? Like, what is it about them?
Yeah, I think we've established your Disney thing is you don't like whimsy.
I don't like whimsy. That's true. Which is why I also don't like musicals. So that's its own thing. Sure.
Yeah, but we know you don't like fantasy and magic as a rule. You know,
Typically.
there are exceptions, but as a rule, that kind of rules out Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter.
Yeah, and Star Wars.
And Star Wars, but like I say, you do the original trilogy is part of that exception, right?
Yeah, because they have good characters, but I don't really care about the mythology of Star Wars. Once they start talking about the Force and all that's why I like. I mean, the prequels are terrible movies anyway for every goddamn reason under the sun. But like when people say, "Oh no, we can get good things out of those because of the Jedi Council and this and that," I'm like, "Oh, piss off! I don't care about any of."
Clone Wars is the best thing to come out of the prequels.
It's all
that show was fantastic.
It's all fantasy. I will take more sci-fi from almost any other direction than I will Star Wars.
Oddly, you might actually like Clone Wars as a it just in concept it actually takes the sci-fi route of Star Wars and doesn't delve into.
Sure, but I just don't care about Star Wars enough to delve into.
No. I just on that Clone Wars really focused on the sci-fi stuff, and then Rebels really went into the Force and the mythic nature of it.
Yeah. So yeah. I'm not deliberately picking the big things not to like. It just seems to work out that way for some goddamn reason.
I mean, if the DC movies were good.
Oh yeah, I'd be loving the shit out of those if they were good.
And they'd be huge. They'd be some of the biggest things up there.
And I enjoy Marvel movies.
I mean, let's face it. Superman and Batman on their own are among the biggest things on the planet, and you love both of those.
This is true. They're the underdogs right now because of Zack Snyder and some shady Warner Brothers dealings that upset me. But yes, typically speaking, yes, they're two of the biggest things on the planet.
That shouldn't really need clarifying, but it's sad.
Yes. Because it's always funny, like, I feel like people think I'm contrarian, I don't like the popular thing because it's the most popular. But I also feel like I've got really boring choices with some of my favourites. Like, what's your favourite horror movie? Halloween. That's kind of a boring choice. It's not like I'm picking some obscure thing. I'm picking Halloween.
Yeah.
You know? What was your favourite zombie movie? Dawn of the Dead. Oh, that's not that interesting an answer. That's a pretty durable answer. It's Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah. Hell, even like your love of, Aliens, Terminator, Back to the Future. All of those are hugely popular movies.
Yeah, they're hardly these weird, indie, quirky, like art house films.
Yeah, exactly.
I love Pacific Rim 2. I like some schlock, alright?
You love Pacific Rim 2 more than most people do.
I know. Better than Last Jedi. Come at me. Anyway, that is this week's trailer talk. Thank you very much for everyone who's been sticking around through this rambles. Let us know what you thought of the trailers in the comments and stuff like that. You can of course support the channel and the show and everything we do here by heading over to patreon.com/mailedfuzztv. You get some bonuses, you get some stuff early, you get some exclusive shows, you get various things, voting rights on some of the review shows, all that kind of thing. So check out that, have a look. And if you can't do that, don't feel too bad. You can of course just watch ads on YouTube, turn your ad block off, and all the other stuff we mentioned. All of it helps. Any support is fantastic. So thank you very much once again. Get us on Twitter at mailed_fuzz. You can get me on Twitter at Wibble89. You can get Connor on Twitter at ConnorRyan94. And yeah, so that's us. So thank you very much once again for watching or listening. We always appreciate it. Keep watching movies and trailers and getting excited and hyped for movies that aren't out yet, because that's what trailers are designed to do, and it's weird, and for some reason we accept that with movie trailers because we want to feel excited. And hey, I don't know what my point is. Bye guys.